Hello everybody, welcome to MJX Movies. Today I'll be yakking the film The Gorge from 2024, directed by Scott Derrickson. This movie opens up with a sniper on a mission, which he successfully completes. We meet thus Drasa, a Lithuanian agent whose father is terminally ill and informs her that he will be ending his life on the ensuing Valentine's Day. We also meet Levi, a former U.S. Marine sniper who is struggling with life after combat and life after the Marines. He's contacted about doing a job, which he accepts. He's flown to a mysterious place where he lands. He meets his predecessor, who informs him that he'll be guarding a watchtower on a large stretch of land along a gorge, and that he'll have an Eastern counterpart who will be doing the same thing because this gorge agreement was set up by the Allied forces at the end of World War II. Eventually, after a dull life is very dull for a period of time, he makes contact, or is made contact with, by Drasa. Levi has made contact with Drasa across the way because it's her birthday. She's a little bit inebriated. And she's got a sketchbook with a seemingly unending supply of paper, whereas Levi has a whiteboard. They talk for a little bit. At one point, they successfully repel an attack by mysterious creatures from the gorge. Then, Levi, after having fallen in love with Drasa, zip lines across the way because he sets up a zip line. They have dinner. Levi goes to zip line back, but some creatures from the gorge come up and set off mines, thus severing his zip line, sending him into the gorge. Drasa parachutes after Levi to save him. And then the two need to make their way out of the gorge, so they do so. They stumble upon a lab where they discover that the gorge creatures are former soldiers and that this whole thing is a science experiment gone awry. They make it out of the gorge, but not before also learning that the reason why the gorge still exists is because private companies want to harness the power of the genetic mutations of the gorge creatures. Both Levi and Drasa are told by their superiors that they have to murder one another. They choose not to, however. They choose to escape. So they set up explosives along the satellite arrays on the ground along the gorge to expose the gorge to the rest of the world. The bad guys from the Americans come, the bad corporate villains from the Americans come to try and finish the job, so to speak. However, Levi and Drasa escape to set up the explosives, thus blowing up the helicopter of the bad guy Americans. Drasa escapes and she goes to the rally point in France. Seems like a long way away for a rally point, but that's where she goes to meet Levi. Levi does not show, so she takes up work in France. And then eventually Levi shows up at the restaurant she's working at. The two share a kiss and they kiss off into the sunset. So this movie stars we've got primarily Anna Taylor-Joy, and we've also got Miles Teller. Sigourney Weaver's in here for, I think, basically 2 scenes. And then character actors that I was not familiar with. Let's start. So this movie has basically 2 main components to it. It has the rom-com portion, which is fine. I don't think it's anything special, but it is definitely a rom-com portion where, you know, Levi and Drasa, they meet cute, they have some banter, they exchange fun little dances, so on and so on. That's fine. It's okay. Then we've also got the second portion of this movie, which is the more horror, sci-fi, action portion of this movie, which I also think is okay. I don't think the CGI is that great. The heavily filtered color schemes I don't think are that great. The explanations for how the whole thing works are not that great. I don't know if you can tell. I didn't super care for this. I thought it was really generic. I don't think the battle sequences offered anything particularly special. I think this movie would have been better off if it was split off into 2. I would have preferred just a much longer rom-com about 2 people struggling in isolation where they're very close together and yet very far apart, falling in love. And then I would have also preferred a more fleshed out version of the horror version of this movie where more is explained, is a little clearer, and the CGI is a little bit better done. One thing I will say that really does work excellently in this movie is the Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score. It's fantastic. It reminded me a lot, or made me think a lot, of the similar score from the film Annihilation. So if anybody saw that, I think that you'll hear some similarities in the scoring. I would say that overall, for me, this movie did not work. I would say that this one is an A. I don't really think you need to invest time in it. I don't think there's anything really interesting about it. And if it is a yay for you, it might be because you love Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross and the scores they do. If that's the case, just get the score. You don't have to watch the movie. Just get the music and listen to that because it's good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Cheers.